Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Wrestling News and Commentary for SmackDown review of 6/25/2019. Welcome to the show, y'all. We got a SmackDown review coming to you nice and quick. So, tonight was kind of a dull night, man. I think the big issue with these pay-per-view or these shows, you know, is it's not it's not like bringing you in. It's not making you have some kind of connection, you know, and people just don't get it. You know, they don't understand why certain people are in these matches. They don't understand why these storylines are going the way they're going. They're not building up properly. People aren't connecting to the characters because, quite frankly, the characters suck. And SmackDown tonight was, in my book, one of those shows that really displayed the lack of entertainment that these guys have. And we're going to get through the show, and I'm going to do my best to try to show, you know, talk you guys through it on in terms of what I mean. Let's just dive right in, okay? So the show basically opened up with Shane McMahon. A lot of people are hating on Shane McMahon right now. They don't want to see Shane McMahon pushed. There's a lot of news going on right now where people are just tired of it, and even the people in the locker room have even gone on social media and kind of methodically just put it out there that they don't really agree with the way that they're going with Shane. And I can't help but think that the McMahon name as his last name has something to do with it. I think that's a no-brainer, obviously. It's just kind of, people are tired of it, and to be honest with you, I am too. You know, when he first came back, it was kind of cool. It was exciting. You know, we kind of get an Attitude Era-esque character back, and it was cool having him. But then him as a heel has really rubbed people the wrong way, and people just aren't entertained by him anymore. But he comes out basically saying that he's extremely pissed off because of last night. And if some of you guys don't know, The Undertaker came out of nowhere, probably the most exciting part of Raw, to help out Roman Reigns, and winds up essentially ruining the 2-on-1 match that they had with Drew McIntyre, Shane McMahon, and Roman versus Roman. So he comes out pissed, puts out a video. Don't get on my bad side, you know, tonight, because tonight's not the night. Winds up switching out, goes to the ring. New Day comes out. Kofi starts doing his little "I'm so grateful" BS that he's been doing since WrestleMania. Really no, there's just no new material coming out of Kofi's mouth, and to be honest with you, it's starting to drown. It's really starting to bring down the New Day. It's bringing down Kofi's reign as champion. It's starting to get stale, and I don't know if this is something that Vince saw a long time ago, that he's kind of a here now gone tomorrow champion. They're putting him through the ringer with all of these stars, and he's getting through it. The fans are still behind him, but I look for his excitement level to start dropping dramatically, because it's his promos suck. There's nothing new. It's all the same stuff. He's talking on this promo just like the night after he won the championship at WrestleMania. He's literally just kissing everybody's ass, and I can't help but think that that's going to start to get old. Thankfully, it was interrupted by Dolph Ziggler Dolph Ziggler does the exact same promo that he's been doing for the last 3 weeks. Basically, me. Ends up saying that he's basically sucked the dicks of the people in the back, and they're going to essentially give him a, best falls out of 3 match. And if he wins, he gets a spot, and it becomes a fatal 3-way, against Samoa Joe, Kofi Kingston, and Dolph Ziggler. Triple threat. However, if that's how Kofi can get over, maybe he needs more than one. I don't know. I think Samoa Joe is enough. But we'll get through the night and we'll talk about it. Okay? So the next thing that comes up is this match right here. You had the New Day versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. Match was going fine. Typical match. We've seen it already. Luckily, KO, Sami Zayn came in, attacked the New Day. New Day wins that match via disqualification. We cut to commercial. We come back from commercial, and we now have Bryan, Rowan, KO, and Sami Zayn. And out of nowhere, we've got them going up against Heavy Machinery and the New Day tag teaming together. So it basically became a 4-man tag team match. It was going really good. Sammy ends up getting his ass kicked. KO basically walks away from the entire match because he's pretty much certain that Sammy's going to lose, so he walks away. New Day had already taken out Daniel Bryan and Rowan and such. Heavy Machinery took over, hit him with the compactor, and that was the end of the match. Really didn't have much to go for in terms of storytelling on that, what's going to happen, but I'm sure as we progress, we're going to see more and more and more. So the next match of the night. Oh, we did have some backstage stuff. So the Miz comes out to Elias, starts kind of giving Elias a bunch of crap, saying that he's got unfinished business with these guys. Winds up walking away. Shane McMahon comes out. What was that all about? Elias tattletales. And Shane goes, well, you know what? Tonight's not the night for him to do that shit. So now he's going to have a, best falls out of 3 match and against you. And so it becomes The Miz and Elias. And Shane interrupts throughout the entire match again. It eventually leads to Elias getting the falls. They wind up beating the holy hell out of Miz. Shane goes coast to coast, hits Miz right in the chest with his typical finisher move, and that was the end of that. Basically a promotion for Extreme Rules for the big match that he's going to be having. It's going to be Drew McIntyre, Shane McMahon versus Undertaker and Roman. So, I will say this: last night when Undertaker gave Shane the chokeslam, he looked right in the eyes of Shane and says, "This is your yard," and chokeslammed him to hell. So that was pretty cool. The next match of the night was kind of an interesting matchup. It was Nikki Cross versus Bayley. Now, there was a stipulation here that was a little bit bizarre. I really haven't seen it done like this yet. However, the stipulation was that if Nikki Cross won, it gave Bayley an opportunity for the title at Extreme Rules. I'm really interested to see how this winds up, because this can end up 2 ways. Either one, Alexa Bliss loses and turns on Nikki Cross because she was absolutely no help to her for at least winning, or 2, Alexa wins the title at Extreme Rules and turns on Nikki anyway because she no longer needs her help. That's kind of where I see this going. Because as you know, Alexa Bliss is kind of known for backstabbing folks. So, it's coming. It's coming. So Nikki Cross won. Alexa Bliss gets the belt, or gets a chance at the belt, and that was it. The next match of the night, Amber Moon versus Sonya Deville. Very, very short match. Sonya Deville won. Mandy comes into the ring, and there's like some weird sexual tension between those two that they're displaying. So I don't know what's going on here. If they're trying to do some kind of kinky sisterhood that they got going on or something, who knows? I'm not 100% certain. But something's going on there. We'll see what's going on. As far as the next match goes, this was a very, very, very fast-paced match. The next match was Kofi and Dolph Ziggler. Kofi ended up with the very first pinfall. Dolph got the second one, and then Kofi wound up with the third. Dolph lost his chance. So, good match. Good quick show, quick moving show. Boom, boom, boom. There was some segment in there with the 24/7 belt, and it was a very boring in terms of show, like in terms of entertainment value. I can't bitch about how many matches, because pretty much the entire show was matches, which is actually something that I kind of like, but it lacked the story. It lacked the storytelling part. What I liked about the Attitude Era, the 80s era, you had the Hogans, the Macho Mans, just about everybody in the 80s era, and then you come into the late 90s, early 2000s, you got these Stone Colds, the Rocks, the Triple H's, all these guys, Shawn Michaels, even back in the late 90s, Shawn Michaels. You got guys that could literally sell anything. And when they got on the microphone, you wanted to see that match because they hyped it up so well. The segments back and forth from each other was amazing. I mean, I can't tell you how many times we would see The Rock come out, and all he would do is stand on stage. And the crowd would just fucking lose their shit. And now you get people, and they come out, to the stage, and okay. It's like Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin has one of those characters right now where everybody just hates his guts. And they don't hate him because of heat. Like heel heat, they hate him because he's a fucking idiot, and his entire character sucks ass. He has no passion when he gets on the microphone. He sounds like a regular guy that just dressed in a suit that is utterly way too tight for him, and he's just a straight up gaper. Like, he just doesn't belong there, and so it's just a complete awkward thing, and that's a whole entire fallout with the entire roster. Starting with Kofi and the exact same promo that he's been pushing. Dolph Ziggler, exact same promo that he's been pushing. You got New Day doing their same exact dances that they've been doing. You got Daniel Bryan and Rowan's doing their stupid shit that's not really progressing or growing. You got The Miz losing his ass at every single match since WrestleMania. Shane McMahon being the same dickhead that he's been for the last 3 weeks. Drew McIntyre hasn't grown a bit. He's still a dork. All these people, they're not growing, and they're not expanding into the entertainment realm. with the microphone. Their charisma doesn't show at all, and it's just really kind of a lame scenario that we actually fall into with these guys, and it's kind of a shame because the talent pool is great, but if you don't have charisma to back that, like Seth Rollins, for instance. Seth Rollins is gold inside the ring, but when he gets on a microphone, honestly, it sounds like a fucking zip tie is talking through the mic, because it just, it really just isn't exciting. It is exciting. Speaking, of that scenario, there's a lot of people saying that a lot of these wrestlers now that are getting with the female staff, the female wrestlers getting with the male wrestlers and such, that some of these guys aren't as focused as they once were. And they really just, like, how do I say this? Like, basically, they believe that all because they're in a relationship, it means that they're safe, because the company doesn't want to lose two pieces of talent, especially right now with the AEW situation. And I have to believe that that's a bullshit scenario, because AEW can't take everybody. They can't. They cannot wind up with a roster like WWE that's just a monster, because people just aren't going to get Showtime. And you're going to have a lot of people that like Ricochet, and then you're going to have a lot of people that like Aleister Black. And you're going to have a lot of people that like this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy, and then this guy. You can't have them all on at the same time every fucking night. It's like what they did tonight with KO, Sammy, New Day. They really just can't keep producing shows like this with no entertainment value. And I understand that it's got to be a difficult thing, but this is WWE. They've been producing entertaining wrestling for generations, and they've lost track of what it's like to entertain the people. I'm not saying give the fans what they want, because it's what they don't want is what keeps their ass in the seat, because they're hoping that they're going to get what they want. And then every now and then you throw them a fucking bone, and then you say, well, look, we gave you what you wanted, now go buy a buttload of t-shirts. And that's kind of the way it works, but you got to keep their attention going. You got to keep their excitement going. If you don't, it fails every way. WCW, back in its heyday, or not necessarily its heyday, but its successful days against WWE, that's what they were doing. They were throwing out matches left and right, but at the same time, they were telling stories left and right. I'll never forget the time when, Scott Steiner would come out, and, he's sitting there doing his flexing thing, and he starts talking shit about Ric Flair's teeth and how he should have spent his money on teeth rather than limousines, and talking about Hulk Hogan, how, Hulk Hogan, all he wants is his spot, and, and he says, well, he can have his spot, and I mean his bald spot, like shit like that. It was super entertaining. It was funny. At the same time, it's like, this guy seems like a legitimate badass and dickhead, and you aren't getting that type of show anymore. You don't got an official badass anymore. You don't have an Austin anymore. You don't have a Rock. You don't have a Triple H. You don't have somebody that you can actually stand behind. John Cena is the last of his kind. I have to believe that John Cena is the last of the Mohicans, because we just haven't had somebody that can legitimately take the spot of John Cena. No matter what you say about John Cena, when John Cena got on the microphone, he owned that fucking microphone. When John Cena got in the ring, yeah, he had his little moveset, but at the same time, at least he was consistent, and he never fucked people up. He put on a good show. I I remember at the height of his hate, when he was going up against like Brock Lesnar, for instance, though, that whole crowd got hushed. It felt like a boxing match, like you're about to see like the boxing match of the century, and people were legitimately ready for a fight. You know what I mean? And that you don't get that anymore. We haven't had that in a long, long time. We haven't had a pay-per-view to look forward to. We haven't had a main event to look forward to. We haven't had a storyline, and to be perfectly honest with you, Bray Wyatt is about the only person that I can honestly say can go on and put on a decent microphone session. He can cut promos better than 99% of the people on that roster right now. And if you don't believe me, go back to the gap between from when it was first announced that he was going to face Undertaker until he had to actually face the Undertaker. Bray Wyatt literally sold that entire match on his own. No help. Undertaker didn't show up not one time to promote that match. Bray Wyatt came night after night after night and promoted the shit out of that match. And he did it unbelievably well. Unbelievably well. He was creepy and you felt it. And of course, Undertaker by himself, okay, fine. You might want to give him a little bit of an edge just because it's Undertaker and people highly respect Undertaker. But at the same time, I don't really give a shit. If you would have given that to Seth Rollins would have dropped the fucking ball. I would bet money on it. Maybe Samoa Joe. Maybe. You know what? I won't even say that. I was going to say AJ, but I think AJ sucks ass on the mic too. So, I mean, and AJ's been around forever, but I think he kind of blows balls on the mic as well. So I'm not even going to say AJ. So there's not a lot of people literally that's the only two that I can confidently say: Bray Wyatt and Samoa Joe. Everybody else fucking sucks. Everybody else sucks. Finn Balor, he's an amazing wrestler in the ring. One of my favorites in the ring. He sucks on the mic. Charlotte Flair, as great as she is, she sucks on the mic. There's nobody out there that can really put out a good show. And the reason why I think this is because they have a lack of passion. Why? Why are these wrestlers losing their passion? I think it's simple. I think it boils down to the formula that AEW is putting out, which is basically they want their people to build their characters. They don't want people to draw their characters. They want the people playing the characters to draw their character. And I think that means something. And I kind of have a kind of in common feeling about that, because me personally, like if somebody's explaining something to me, if I can't turn around and explain it back to them, I can't expect myself to perform what they're wanting. I have to understand it. And like if I'm doing a lesson and I'm trying to teach somebody, I better know how it's done. For myself, I need to come to my own conclusion on how it's done, and then I'll be able to explain it to them. And that makes for a much better lesson or show. If you're wanting to be on WWE or whatever, they need to build it themselves because they're the ones that understand it. The little midget-minded idiots in the back that are writing down, oh, this is going to be your script for the day in the back, and then handing it to Vince McMahon, expecting him to go, oh, yeah, that's what we're going to go with. You guys are fucking full of shit. They got Dana Warrior, for God's sakes, is one of the head writers, and it wasn't until like 7 months ago that she was just an apprentice. And now she's the head writer, one of the head writers, actually physically working with talent. I respect the Ultimate Warrior. Ultimate Warrior was by far one of my favorites in terms of when I was growing up. I loved Ultimate Warrior. What the fuck does his wife know? The only reason why the bitch even met him in the fucking first place is because he was fucking famous. You know, I'll put it out there. I don't give a shit if it's controversy. Kiss my ass. The bottom line is if, you know, she didn't know, and if it wasn't for the fact that Warrior died, you think Dana Warrior would be in the back writing fucking wrestling? Bullshit. There's no fucking way. You know what I mean? And now she's one of the head writers, and I'm sitting here as a fan that's grew up in the sport, sitting there saying, what? I'm expected to respect that shit? You know what I mean? Like you're in just because of the fact that your old man died? You know, I mean, that happened with fucking Vicky Guerrero. You know, I mean, yeah, okay, fine. Vicky Guerrero actually has a little tiny bit of history, but she sucked. She was there as a novelty for the fact that Eddie died. They wanted to bring in the Guerrero name because his fucking nephew Chavo fucking sucks. And she has a super annoying voice, so they capitalized on it. And they wanted to make sure she was getting paid because they loved Eddie. And then as soon as that pay started to drop, she boned out. You know, I mean, it's just, it's a fucking joke bringing in people like that into the show and then expecting guys like me, guys like you to actually sit down and respect it and put on a good show. No. You know, and now we got the SmackDown show with no entertainment value. I mean, and that's actually across the entire brand. We're supposed to respect this type of branding. AEW is about to drop in just a couple months. And hell, they got a pay-per-view coming up in just a few days. So it's like, give me a break. Do better. Get some passion going. Build passion. Fuck off that entire roster and build these characters up to where each and every single story means something. That's the big deal to me. That's the big thing, and that's what I expect out of this whole show. And I mean, to be honest with you, Heavy Machinery to me was the most entertaining factor. These guys go in the ring. They have this weird old school swagger about them, especially Otis. And I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. You know, some people hate on Heavy Machinery, you know, but you know what? At least they give a fuck about telling a story, you know, in the ring, and it's their story. They're doing it their way. Their mannerisms, you know, the way that they make their movesets, the excitement that they put on, just the little tidbits that they do. It's all in part of their character. And I have a feeling that WWE's kind of let them have a little bit of looseness there. They're not as tightly wound up. Because Heavy Machinery is a clean-based team. They're not like, yeah, I mean, they do hip thrusts and things like that, but I mean, they're not really a dirty team, and you know, in terms of something that's going to be vulgar and stuff like that. So, because some of the stuff that they're doing, you can't make up. You just you can't write that. And so to me, they were probably the most entertaining part of the entire show. And I parenthesize entertaining because I'm not saying that they were the best wrestlers of the night, because they weren't. But they were the most entertaining in the ring. They told a story. That's what I'm talking about. Entertaining people so they can enjoy it. Guys like Baron Corbin, they're not entertaining people. They're not pulling heel damage. They're pulling in shithead damage because people don't like him at all. And he's athletic. He's good in the ring, but he's bland everywhere else. And I think it's just a lack of passion. And, you know, we got to get back to that excitement. You know what I mean? Like, you know, the old Triple H, I'm getting mad and, you know, and the cheeks are all on, flaring out and just super pissed. I'm gonna kick your fucking ass. And the Stone Cold, oh hell yeah, what, in your face, dropping beer in your eye, just straight up in your face, The Rock, Rudy Poo, candy ass, have you had any pie lately? It doesn't matter, shit like that. It's just like real entertainment, and then they go in the ring and they sell the shit out of it. I mean, they literally sell the shit out of it. I mean, there's a famous flop where Austin gives The Rock a stunner and he flails around the ring like 3 fucking times. He rolls over, and evidently it was like it was literally like a bet, and he did it, and it was just because they were out there having fun and entertaining people while they were at it. So it was just kind of we're missing that part. We're missing that phase. And it's too cut and dry, and it's gonna kill WWE if they don't start picking it up. Bray Wyatt didn't come out again this week, which is super lame. Aleister Black is still stuck in his closet with all the other whatnots, not coming out, not doing his thing, and it's just starting to get old. It's really starting to get old. In my book, I don't watch wrestling to watch people do little shows behind the scenes. I watch wrestling so I can see them in the ring, performing in the ring. We're missing that. Out of a lot of people, we're missing that, and that's where people are kind of interested in the AEW situation, because they're promising to give them a product that's for them, that's actually designed to entertain them. And that's something that WWE is going to have to capitalize on. They're going to get another chance to see what AEW has, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to throw it back into their face. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, you guys, that's my SmackDown review. I give this show, honestly, I give this show a 4. It's probably my worst review yet, because I'm starting to get a little tired. I'm going to start getting harsher on these shows, because I think it has to happen. It's no more pussyfooting around, because it's, honest to God, it's just getting really bad. We got Extreme Rules coming up, and I highly doubt we'll even see a lot of matches with Extreme Rules. It's just I'm not expecting very much out of this. This last pay-per-view was really, really good. I actually liked it. They tried really hard, but you know what? The biggest problem of this entire night was the fact that their attendance was absolutely awful. I believe it was around 24,000 people could fit inside that arena, and they only sold like 6,000 to 7,000 tickets, something around that neck of the woods. I don't know the exact number. If you know the exact number, put it in the comments below and let the world see it. But I'm pretty sure it was like that. And then the rest of the tickets went to Ticketmaster and said, hey, you got to sell the tickets first before you get money or whatever. And then it went on from there. And it's most likely that a lot of those people that were sitting in that arena, wouldn't surprise me that they were, basically got free tickets to, they probably gave tickets away to all the local radio stations, all the TV shows, all the news stations in that local area, giving away tickets as much as possible to try to get people in that seat, because the last thing they need on a pay-per-view is 8 or 9 rows full of fucking people, and then when they pan out and you look up, half the goddamn arena is empty, so they start giving out tickets, to a goddamn pay-per-view for free. That's not good. That's WCW shit. They used to give out tickets for free all the fucking time. Although they would do it on purpose, Bash at the Beach, the Sturgis, Hogs Wild crap. All that shit was free, and that's one of the reasons why that company folded the way it did, because wrestlers were getting tired because they weren't getting, revenue from those. They weren't getting residual money, from that stuff, because there was no money to be had because it was fucking free. So at the end of the day, like in my book, they need to step up. If you start putting out a good, decent product, and you get something where shows like mine, shows, other shows that are out there that are doing this kind of stuff, for them to actually give positive reviews on, that's a good thing. That means you're going to be stepping up and you're going to be selling tickets to these pay-per-views. It wouldn't surprise me if WrestleMania doesn't get shithead numbers this year, if they don't start picking up. Look, you guys, we're already into the 6th month of the year. WrestleMania is literally like 8 months away, or sooner. So, I mean, we're already on the road to WrestleMania, and we don't have shit built up. This last WrestleMania is over. That's done. We're already pay-per-views into this, and we've got nothing done, nothing new and exciting, and it's getting old. I want to see it. So you guys, thank you very much for coming to the Squared Circle. I certainly appreciate you stopping by and listening to me, hoot and holler over here. I'm going to bounce out of this channel. You guys, thank you so much. I will see you this week at some point. I promise you with all my heart, I'm going to start throwing out those 5-minute videos. This week was awfully hectic for me. With the loss of my partner over here, he's out there doing his family thing, and but this week I got a lot of things planned that I'm gonna be throwing up for sure. Doing some reorganizing, so it's gonna be really exciting. I'll see you guys later on this week for sure. You guys take care. Like the show, share, subscribe. You know the whole drill. Comment, give me all the good stuff. You got it. You guys, thank you very much. You take care. Thank you.